Hi, can you introduce yourself and your past experiences, please?
Yeah, my name's Ornan Hines, and 7 years ago I used to be in the care service myself. Uh, well, I left 7 years ago, but I used to be in there from when I was around 13. And from there, I've moved on to helping Middlesex University with various projects and stuff. Just because obviously, from my own experiences, I would like to put my own input into things, and it has made a difference, which I'm happy about.
How would you feel if someone asked you questions using jargon and complicated language?
Well, to be honest, sometimes I just feel I feel a bit what's going on. Like, you don't really understand the whole thing because you don't understand what the words are used in jargon to someone that's just doesn't know the jargon knowledge about it because they don't work in the industry of whatever's used. You know what I mean? I'd just be a bit confused and don't know and be like, what? I don't get. I wouldn't be able to say really much to jargon if I didn't understand it.
So, what type of language would you like to be used?
Well, like I said, jargon can be simplified all the time, yeah. So it's like when some professionals use a certain words, yeah. You're like, what is that? And they tell you what it is, and you say, why didn't you use that word in the first place? Why does it have to be this big complicated word? And then you just don't get it, and you don't understand things, and it's not really good in the terms. It's like you just can't communicate very well. You don't know what's going on or what's being said.
Have you had experiences of professionals? I mean, which professional were you thinking?
Yeah, I've got one example. It's for example, a doctor. You go to a surgery. You might ask you have a problem, but they will say some big long word what it is, yeah. And it could be something just as little as a cold, a bruise or something, but they'll call it something else, and you'll be like, what is that? And then when they say bruise, you'll be like, oh, okay, I've got a bruise here, so I understand now. But because they use this complicated word, you're like, you think you might have something else because you've never heard of this this word they've used. And that's what I mean, it just gets a bit confusing if you don't know what's actually being said because of the context it was used, you know?
Have you had any experiences of both sides of the use of language? So where it's been a positive use and a negative use? So where you haven't understood it or where you have understood it?
Well, the positive side could be where I work here, they use certain words here related to what we've been trained in. So I will understand it all the time because I work in that profession. But the negative way of using it is when you use it to someone that doesn't know. Like if I was a doctor, like the same example I used, if I go there, I wouldn't understand what their jargon is because I don't work in the industry. But as I worked in the jewellers, whatever they use, I understand it because I've been taught what it means. But obviously, I wouldn't use it to a customer. I wouldn't go up to a customer and say, oh, blah 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 blah, some long word to them because they'd be like, what are you talking about? And if you say, oh, it's a necklace, then they say, why didn't you tell me that in the first place? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just all about just shortening and just using the simple terms to me. Yeah.
Do you feel that you've learned from your experiences and it's helped you now with your work, that you can now explain better to others?
Yeah, it's definitely helped me because at the end of the day, because I've experienced being confused and stuff like that, so now I know not to try to avoid using too complicated words for people who don't know about the industry that you're in, or not just your industry, just in general terms. Just try and just use things simple so everyone can understand. It's like being user friendly, not just specifically to one person, because at the end of the day, it's only one person who's going to really understand the actual complicated words, like jargon.
Oh, thank you.